for you. He's tonight's host with the most at 9. And talking of hosts, now and in high definition on BBC One HD, Chris and Alex.
Friends, and thanks for tuning in to your Friday One show with Alex Jones
and Chris Evans.
Tonight, we've rolled out a special carpet in honour of a very special guest.
And our tartan army are ready. There we are. So, here's a few clues to who our guest is.
Your newsreader, Angela Rippon, has her hot legs out tonight.
Jazz Brandreth, our archive hunter's got his handbag and his glad rags.
And our super foodie Jay Renner is looking a little ooh-la-la.
Stand by to welcome one of the most successful performers of all time.
James Brown called him the best white soul singer in the world.
Elton John once said, bar none, he's the best thing I've heard in rock and roll.
Let's bring him on. Tonight's the night. It's gonna be all right because...
Rod Stewart's here!
Rod, why are you looking so cool?
Well, someone's got to.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, well, look at me, I put me leopard print.
And the thing is, you changed into that.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
You like these, don't you?
You've outdone my yellow sock.
Mine too. Right, now, listen, we mentioned that you were coming on the show on Twitter today. We just dropped it in there.
Just dropped it in.
We got lots of Rod love back, you know. Thank Rod for all this. And got these questions just out of nowhere. From Doug in Portsmouth. If you could choose between one of the following, which would you go for? Celtic to win the Champions League or you to live to 100?
Celtic to win the Champions League.
Really?
The way I'm living, mate, I'm not going to get past 70.
OK. Bad week for Celtic this week? Heartbreaking week?
Well, yeah, it was. You know, we lost against Inverness.
Yeah.
We opened the door for Rangers and they banged it down. Good luck to them. You know, they took the title away from us.
But you've still got the FA Cup.
Scottish Cup. No, Scottish Cup.
Is that tomorrow?
It's tomorrow, yeah.
SFA Cup.
Yeah.
Are we right? OK. Are you going?
Good luck.
Of course.
Of course he's going.
Has the Pope got a balcony?
Apparently. That's what we hear.
OK, Stan the Man says, why hasn't there been a Faces reunion? He's been waiting for 35 years, Rod.
Well, I tell you, I've been waiting for Ronnie. You know, it's not really his fault, or my fault, because we got commitments. He's got his Stones job, I've got my career, and the two haven't worked out yet. But, you know, don't give up on us.
Everybody wants it to happen.
Okay.
Yeah, and you two have the... Because we asked him the same question, he gave a very similar answer. So are you talking? Do you talk to each other?
Yeah, we email each other.
Right.
His spelling's not very good. But
his painting's excellent.
his paintings, he's a wonderful artist. No, but it could happen. You know, it should
Honestly,
happen.
it could happen?
Yeah, we're not putting it off just for the sake of it.
All right, well, please try and make that happen. Neil in South East London says, very simply, it's his mum's birthday. It would make her life if you said happy birthday to Mary.
What camera? That one here?
This one here.
Happy birthday, Mary!
Come on!
Be a happy lady after that. OK, and finally, Dave from Scarborough is asking, do you remember a charity football match back in 1973 against an Irish rugby team?
No.
Come on, Rod!
No, that was a long time ago, mate. That really is.
It is.
But charity football matches, were they around in the 70s? Did they happen then?
Yeah. I remember playing in teams with Jimmy Greaves and...
Did you play with Bestie?
Bestie I played with.
Played with George Best?
Yeah.
You played with Pele?
Pele I played with.
Played with
I played
Maradona?
with him in Switzerland. No, I haven't played with Maradona. No.
OK, would you like to tick that box?
I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love to. He needs to lose a bit of suet, though, doesn't he, really? No, he does. He knows
No,
it.
it's true, it's true. And how many times you played at Wembley, would you say? More than some internationals?
7. What, shows or football?
Football?
Oh, football about 6 times, shows about a dozen or so.
Pretty good, eh?
Yeah.
All right, so
Have you two played in the same charity football match?
Well, I was on the same team as Rod. I didn't really play, did I? I didn't really give any
I think
play.
you were a bench warmer that day.
Yeah, it was quite interesting that day, to say the least. Anyhow, moving right along right now. At the end of the show, we've got a football challenge for Rod. Yeah. We're going to pitch you in a penalty shootout against Jim Leighton, Scotland's finest, 91 caps for Scotland.
Definitely one of Scotland's finest.
But against a girl.
That's all right. I'm good for that type of thing.
Very
against
special.
girls.
Very special girl.
Yeah.
Now, this young lady came to light in an email we received this week from a one-show viewer called Ina Meek.
Is this...
It says, go on.
OK, I am the club secretary for an under-13s football team in Scotland. We've just won the Scottish Cup, congratulations, and are now invited to participate in a Four Nations Championship that takes place in Birmingham this weekend. However, we have a major problem. Our team captain is a girl and has scored a lot of the goals that got them through and won them the cup. But as the competition is being played under English FA rules, she's not permitted to play.
Change the bloody rules. That's ridiculous.
No, it is, but it's on Sunday.
It's ridiculous.
I know it is.
Not permitted.
It may be different when you get to a professional level higher up.
Yeah.
But for right now,
Yeah.
who knows where football's going to go in the next 10 or 20 years.
Yeah. OK, this
Might
could
be
lead the way
ruining
in many
a
ways.
good career,
Let's have a little look at this.
In 1981, I was in the film Gregory's Girl. The film's success was based on touchingly innocent-looking characters and the humour of a Scottish girl playing football in an all-boys team.
There's a girl in the football team. Well, yes and no.
30 years later, I would never have expected a female playing in a boys' team still to be a problem. Amazingly, it is, even when she's the best player in the team. Alicia Walker is simply a footballing phenomenon. She's a Scottish international, the first girl ever to play in a Scottish Youth Cup winning side, scored 70 goals this season and was voted Player of the Match as her team Bolthouse Boxes qualified for this weekend's Tesco Cup, played between the champions of the four home nations. Christine?
Yes.
Alicia? Claire? Can I come in?
Yeah.
Cup of tea?
No problem.
So Mum's busy here making your pre-match bacon butty. So Alicia, tell us, why aren't you being allowed to play in the UK Cup final?
Down in England, they don't let girls play with boys over the age of 11. But up here, you're allowed to play till you're 15.
And if you can't play in the UK Cup, how's that going to make you feel?
Really disappointed because I want to go down and play with all the boys.
She's going to be absolutely devastated. She doesn't understand why she's being discriminated against.
So what's she going to do when she's there?
Well, they've told her they can do the coin tossing.
Oh, she's getting to toss the coin?
Yeah.
Oh, that's big of them. So girls are allowed to flip coins?
Yeah, not allowed to play football.
Before that, it's the West Lothian County Cup final, and the only favouritism she'll get today is her own dressing room. The game kicks off and nobody's holding back, including Alicia. Doesn't take any prisoners, your daughter, does she?
No, she doesn't. She's a completely different girl.
Alicia's amazing pace and skill is obvious, even to a non-football expert like me. She's a natural athlete. And her team are soon in the lead.
The English FA, unfortunately, don't have as enlightened a view as we do here in Scotland. We changed the rules between 8 and 10 years ago to allow mixed participation. If this rule exists, there will not be a Scottish participation in the competition next year, or I am more than delighted to suggest the excellent Excelsior Stadium at Airdrie for the finals with enlightened Scottish rules.
Alicia gets a standing ovation as she's substituted.
Just a couple of minutes to go, you're 3-0 up, how you feeling?
Amazing. No, it's in the bag and we're going to win it.
Seconds later, it's all over, but for the team and the coaches, it's not quite the celebration it might have been.
There is mixed emotions because obviously Alicia's a big part of our team. She's a captain, she's a leader, and we're going to be without her in a big tournament down south.
At the end of the day, it's a total disgrace. You've seen it firsthand yourself how good a player she is.
Personally, I don't think it's to do with your gender. I think it's to do with your ability that you have for football. It's gutting, to be honest. There's no word to describe how sad everybody is around it.
Now, the English FA are having a meeting next week to discuss the rules of girls playing in mixed teams, and one of the people taking part in that vote has agreed to meet me. Is there any way that the rule could be overturned to allow her to play on Sunday?
I would think it very unlikely that at this stage, a competition that the rules have been set, that they would be changed for the final. The proposal is that the age is raised to 13 next week at the annual general meeting.
Which actually means if Alicia was to qualify again next year, she still wouldn't be allowed to play.
Well, we did carry out research, but not enough girls volunteered to take part in playing in boys' teams.
I'm sure our viewers watching now, there's lots of girls with their hands up at home going, I'll do it. So maybe we can put a list together for you.
OK.
It seems Alicia won't be allowed to play with her team on Sunday. Whatever the result, I think she's a winner in every way.
And Alicia is here.
Genuinely, how gutted are you that you're not playing on Sunday?
Very.
How did you hear the news?
My mum told me because she found out of her club secretary that I wasn't allowed to play and she passed the news on to me.
And did you have any idea beforehand, before you reached the final, that that could be the case, or the international stage? No.
No idea.
How did you feel when they said that you could toss a coin, though?
So what?
Yeah, exactly.
Have you been practising tossing the coin? No, I'm sure you haven't. So, mixed football in Scotland, is that like a regular occurrence now? Is that an accepted thing? Obviously, it must be, yeah. And did you play against other teams that had mixed sex?
No, I'm the only girl in my league.
Really? And you're the captain?
Yeah.
How many goals have you scored this season?
70-odd.
70-odd?
So what do your teammates say then? What do the boys say about it?
It's shocking that I'm not allowed to play, especially for me being the captain.
Rod, have you played against any girls?
My daughters, but getting back to what you were saying, sweetheart, you know, in California, the girls play against the boys. You know, a girl can be in a boys' team. My daughter was.
And, of course, American football, massively famous.
Soccer, not their football.
Soccer, yeah, but massive in America, isn't it? Bigger
Yeah, it's
than the
getting
boys'
there.
game.
It's getting there, yeah.
Right, well, listen, to sort of try and make up for the fact you're not going to be in competition on Sunday, we thought, how about a penalty shootout against Rod Stewart? Would you like that?
Yeah.
Pretty good, eh?
Ask me what team she
It's
supports.
technically Rangers against Celtic.
Here we go again.
You could get your own back for this this year's Scottish Premiership.
Are you right-footed or left-footed? Don't say both.
Right.
OK, I'm sure she's quite angry with both. But who are you going to take penalties against? How about Jim Layton?
91
caps for Scotland.
Welcome, Jim.
Jim, have you been aware of Alicia's story?
Yeah, we've heard all about it in Scotland. And
yeah?
It's a shame that she can't play. So, I mean, she's deserved it for the way she's played, and we saw how good she is on the...
Now, Rod's actually taken penalties against you before, hasn't he?
Well, he scored past me, but everybody else has scored past me, so it won't make any difference.
When did that happen?
Oh, I don't know, a long time ago. Charity game. Last time I saw you was at the Mexican World Cup. Was that the one you were in there?
We played a wee bit in America as well.
That's right, in America.
Before your Madison Square Garden.
Some keeper.
Yeah, I know. Well, but just to warm him up, because, you know, things aren't what they used to be for many of us. So Alex was used as part of the warm-up, and this is how she got on.
Come on!
Yay! Come on! Yeah, you watch your hamstring there.
I look like something demented.
Yeah.
I did it! What are you doing?
Yeah. That's the calm scenes before everyone's... That's coming up later. All right, from Team Scotland over there, let's cross now to the Republic of Ireland. Now, unfortunately, as I'm sure you're aware, Jedward failed in their bid for Eurovision. I, along with the rest of you, are devastated. But look, it's time for us all to get over this and move on.
Move on, absolutely. It's not all doom and gloom, you see, for the Irish. The Queen has just completed an historic and highly successful 4-day visit there.
Yeah, which served as the perfect warm-up, if you don't mind me saying that, ma'am, for President Barack Obama, who's due to arrive in the Emerald Isle in a couple of days.
But why will the President's convoy, along with the world's press, be stopping off in the small village of Moneygall? Well, Matt Allwright has an Obama tale that goes all the way back to 1850.
Welcome to the village of Moneygall in the very rural Republic of Ireland, slap bang in the middle.
It's only got 270 residents. There are no banks, no cash points, not even a local cafe. But soon it will have an official visit from the President of the United States of America.
Yep, President Barack Obama is coming into town to retrace his Irish roots in what must be said is a phenomenal PR coup. I mean, Barack Obama, he's almost as big as Jedward.
It was here at Temple Harry Anglican Church where they first discovered Obama's long-lost connection to Moneygall.
This was the church used by Barack Obama's ancestors.
That's right, they would have worshipped here, they were baptised here, married here, and this would have been very much the hub of the family's existence.
All right, so show me the entry. Where exactly does it say that he's got something to do with this place?
Well, in these records we have children of the fourth great-grandparents of the President. And we have Mary Ann Carney here. It's the first indication of the family's occupation as shoemakers.
Cobblers.
Cobblers, indeed, that's right. But the really interesting one is Fulmouth Carney's baptism. Fulmouth was the third great-grandfather of the President. He was actually baptised as Timothy.
And he would have been the guy who emigrated to the States.
That's right, in 1850. And the rest of the story is history, as they say.
Obama mania has led to a huge spruce-up in Monegal. Every front garden has been dug, every pavement jet-washed, every single house has had a coat of paint. Some have taken it too far, to be honest.
So you are great cousin of Barack Obama, is that right?
To put it simply, an eighth cousin.
An eighth cousin.
Yeah.
Does that mean you get a birthday card? You know, is he round here a lot? How does it work?
No, but it did get me over to the inauguration, so it was fantastic to be over there and witness one of the most historic days.
I, Barack Hussein Obama, do solemnly swear that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
So help you God?
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Monegal doesn't have a bank or a petrol station, but as of very recently it has two very busy gift shops stocking some excellent t-shirts. I like this one. It's Feja Lin, which means, yes, we can.
Billy, what was in this shop before you had it?
It's been closed down for 2 years. It used to be an old sweet shop, and when the news broke that President Barack Obama was visiting, I decided to open up a t-shirt shop.
OK, you have got one chance to give Barack Obama one t-shirt. Which is it going to be?
I think I'd go for the Offaly Rover.
So there you go, Mr. President. It's coming your way. You'll have to pay,
It'll be free.
No, really?
The President has promised to visit a local pub in Monegal. He doesn't know there is only one pub in Monegal.
Tell me about this. How did you come by this?
I bought that of a guy in Dublin. He came down from Dublin, never met him in my life. He had that in the car and I bought it off him.
So, hold on. So a guy comes down from Dublin, just happens to have this in the car? How much did you pay for it?
What do you think?
I'd say if you paid more than €100, you were skinned.
I did.
You paid more than €100?
Do you think you like it?
Who would not love that themselves? Monegal is definitely tuning up for the arrival of a very special guest. They've even got their own tune. This is Tip Off with the Barack Obama Reel. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Any excuse for Mr. Allred.
Jim fixed it for Matt there, didn't he? He was so happy with that film.
Speaking of Irish roots, you have Scottish roots.
Yeah,
of
my
course.
dad.
Have you traced your family tree at all?
No.
Will you?
Have you been asked by that programme to go on it? You know that Who Do You Think You Are? Would you go on that programme?
Yes, someone's prompted me to say yes.
Is that somebody from your office or one of your many fans? That'd be good.
Yeah.
But a lot of people have found that very interesting. Stephen Fry did it, very revealing.
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
So if they're watching now, would you be?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, a lot of people in your family know this.
I did actually trace my roots, but I don't want to tell you when they finished up.
Right, well, the producer needs to come here right now. But a lot of people in your family say, I'm related to Rod Stewart. Who's your most interesting relative that's still around? You go, he's the boy. He's the life and soul of the party.
That would be my big brother, Don.
Yeah.
He's 81, bless him.
No way.
And he's still a referee, real refs of Sunday morning, Saturday morning football. He's 81.
Brilliant.
He's amazing. He really is the life and soul of the party.
Fantastic.
You know. Mum and Dad have gone upstairs now. They're on the roof.
Yeah, they're still watching, though. They'll still be watching.
Hope so.
OK, so in September this year, you'll be heading over to Vegas for a 2-year residency. Now, we were talking earlier, and we were wondering, what does a residency involve?
It about?
Exactly.
Because Elton John played there for like 100 years, Cher played there for 200 years.
I'm a mere 2 years.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't sound as bad as it sounds. It's you do 10 days and you get a month off, another 10 days, a month off, 10 days.
Right, and is this in the old gaff that Sinatra used to play?
Caesar salad, as I call it.
Right,
Caesar Palace.
And that's where Elton John was before you, wasn't it? Elton John. Did you know?
My old mucker, yeah, he was there. In fact, what's that doing? Get out of here.
What?
I think he's there now. I think he's there now.
No, he's not. No, because
that's what I said. He's not there now.
He's at the Ivan Novello just today. He's just down the road.
But it's such a great place to play. It's 4,500 people. Not a bad seat in the house. Tremendous acoustics.
Are they all having dinner? Is that how...
No, all those days were gone with Elvis.
All right, OK.
No, it's a great... And the stage is only that high. So at the end of the show, I've got half the audience on the stage. It's fantastic.
And so, but 2 years... How do you decide? 1 year, 2 years, 20 years? Where's the decision?
Does help. To be honest with you. To be honest with you.
Do 3 then.
At my age, you need the readies, you know.
Right, so you'll be 2 years off 70 when you finish?
Yes.
OK, are you still planning ahead?
Yeah, of course, yeah. You know, I think I've paid my dues.
Yeah.
You know, I can sing a bit. People know the songs, and I enjoy it. And I think the people that come to see me can see that I enjoy it. It's written all over my face, and that really hasn't got anything to do with money.
Right.
It's purely because I love doing it.
And you're warming up on race courses, apparently, aren't you?
Yeah, we're Newbury Racecourse a week on Sunday, and then Norwich. They've won, you know, to the Premier League. They're in Norwich now, and then Aberdeen, Leeds.
And do you actually bring your crowd right round with you wherever you go? This is great, isn't it?
So what can the audience expect then to see on this tour?
Sorry, Don?
What can they expect to see on this tour?
Well, it is what it is.
You must freshen it up, though.
No, my underpants, but not the show. I give the people what they want, you know, plus a few things. I've started making a blues album, which is going tremendously well. I'm hoping Jeff Beck's going to be on it with me. And I'll put a couple of those songs in. I sometimes do the American Songbook. But I give them what they want.
But you're 66 years old. I mean, you don't look... You look younger than I do, and I'm like 20 years younger than you. But, yeah, you know, where do you get the energy from? I'm 20 years younger than Rod. Look, it's just so unfair, isn't it? Where do you get the energy from? Where does it come from?
Well, you know, I've never smoked, and I keep myself really fit. I have done. Played football all my life. I still play in an over-50s league, a vets league.
Right.
All people that look after animals.
Perfect.
Vets league, did you get it? No, I love it. I love exercise. I don't smoke. I enjoy a glass of white wine, but that's about it. And
all right.
Lots and lots of kids.
That keeps you fit, doesn't it?
It does. My house is full of dogs, rock and roll, kids, and a wonderful wife.
I have to warm up if I want to play now. I've got to warm up.
What, on the old trumpet?
No.
Oh, I thought you meant the...
No, that's how we had him. Now we've got it.
I've never heard of anybody warming up the trumpet.
We want to some recorded music.
Yeah, why don't we have a little clip?
Very good.
Very relaxing. Very relaxing. So last March, you released the highlights of the American Songbook, didn't you?
Yeah.
So how did you choose which to put in it then?
I sort of leave it up to the record company. I think they know best, you know, give them a bit of credit. They know what's out, they know what people like.
But that's 5 American songbooks, 5 albums over, 8 years.
Yeah.
They've all made the UK top 10, and they've all made the US top 5.
Yeah.
Pretty good, eh? Not bad, right?
That's brilliant. And I hear Paul McCartney's doing a standards album now, so I'd like to wish him good luck. Not as much luck as I've had, of course.
All right. OK, special thank you to Mr Stewart for coming in tonight via Giles Brandon.
Is that it?
No.
Oh.
Just a little thank you on the way so you can have a little rest.
There's 40 minutes left.
Giles has been knee-deep searching for something special in the BBC archive, perhaps for our guest here tonight.
Yeah, he's come up with a gem of a film that should be right up Rod Street here, or to be more precise, up Rod's railway line. Giles, tell us more.
Now, look, Rod, I know you like your trains, so get on board, my friend, for a documentary from 1964 about the proud owners of privately owned steam trains. Look out for the world-famous Flying Scotsman steaming in to London's Marylebone Station.
Oh, blimey.
Ah, the toot of the whistle, the silver puffs of smoke. It's hard not to be seduced by the romance of a steam train. Forget off-peak Super Saver advance fares and the hell of the modern commute. This is how rail travel ought to be. Nostalgia for the steam era was also in the air back in 1964 when this BBC documentary was made. The government's axeman, Dr. Beeching, was closing routes and steam trains were being replaced by diesel and electric models. But a plucky band of well-heeled train enthusiasts bought up the engines and refused to accept this as the end of the line for steam.
This is no ordinary express. She was modernised out of useful service 3 years ago by diesel locomotives and seemed destined for the breaker's yard. But this is England, home of societies for the prevention of cruelty to all sorts of things. for she's called the Flying Scotsman. She was bought from British Railways for £3,000 by Mr. Alan Pegler, a businessman and train enthusiast.
Well, very nice to be in on time and greeted by such a good crowd. There is nothing at all in the world like riding on a steam locomotive at speed. I think anybody who's been lucky enough to do it would admit that. I don't particularly like the term a rich man's hobby describing this, but I suppose that up to a point that is fair comment. It's a fairly expensive exercise to get involved in.
Yes, but damn the expense, Alan. For chaps like you, this is a way of life.
The engine being restored here is 4555, a Great Western tank engine built in 1924. She was bought in January this year by two Midland businessmen, Pat Whitehouse and Pat Garland.
Now, Pat, that door's the wrong colour. It ought to be black, not green.
Yes, well, I'm sure we'd have spotted that if the film had been in colour. But for these gents, it wasn't just the details. They were emotionally engaged.
Well, I don't think you can ever have the same feelings about diesel engines because diesel engines are machines, steam locomotives are practically human.
Someone needs to get out more, and not necessarily from Euston. But however fanatical, it was loco lovers like these that kept Britain's steam heritage on track at a perilous time.
What was once a common sight at any station is now a rarity. The massive, hissing, straining start of a steam engine. To a train lover, it's not the outward visible trappings of a locomotive that are so important as a simple and basic love of steam. When an engine's got steam, it's living. When it hasn't got steam, it's dead.
And you can watch the full documentary called The Four Steamers by visiting our website, bbc.co.uk/The One Show.
So, Charles, what happened to the Flying Scotsman?
It's here, it's alive, it's well, you know. It hasn't got steam, it's dead. But here we are, the living Flying Scotsman, chanting around, and look, we've got a little rod, and guess, look, she's only slightly taller than you here, isn't she?
You
like this model with the children, and there they are, you're watching. There we are. And the real Flying Scotsman has been restored beautifully, and in July will be on display at the National Railway Museum up in York.
And Pete Waterman, the music impresario, he used to own the Flying Scotsman.
He did, and has invested a great deal, helped with the restoration. Wow. You've still got your collection, haven't you?
Yeah, well, it's not a collection, it's massive, it's over 100 foot long, and it's all computerised, and I do nearly everything myself, apart from the electronics.
What scene did you
Waterman's is amazing.
Really?
His model layaut. It's just...
Did you ever see Huey Green's?
Oh, hang on a minute.
Huey Green turned his whole flat. Look, this is you. You've got skyscrapers. I mean, it's a whole world here. Yeah. They're planning to make the next Batman movie, apparently, on your model railway. Which is fantastic.
But you can have, you can mix the themes up, can't you? You can go from Paris to New York or wherever you want.
No, mine's, New York, Chicago-ish. 1945.
But do you have one
January the 10th.
Do you have one in Essex as well?
No. What I do is I'll take projects with me. I'll load up a load of cases. When I get home here, I'll take and start building projects like houses or skyscrapers, and it's a constant job.
Do you let your children anywhere near it?
Well, no. No. They've all grown up with it because I've been working on it for so long. I mean, the little ones come along and they push things. But it's
your proudest magazine cover is you actually on as the photo, the model on a model railway magazine. That's your proudest moment.
Absolutely, there is. That's.
I mean, is this actually the love of your life? This?
No, it's a hobby, and I don't know why people laugh at it all the time. Even I'm laughing. But it's a great hobby.
It's a good hobby.
It's a good. You've been spellbound all afternoon.
I've been like this all afternoon.
This could be it. This could be your passion. You've been looking for a passion. This could be it.
Here we are.
With my layout, they just don't go round and round and round. I mean, it's
all right. Stop showing off.
This is lovely.
Now, can you remember back to the year that film was shown, back in 1964? Do you remember a soap opera called Compact? That was what was on television.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I was 19 at the time. Yeah.
Compact was on TV that night, and it was quite a hot episode. Ben having a spot of trouble with birds, and Stan getting a surprise.
Yeah, no, I don't remember the actual one, but show us.
And the people went on to make Crossroads. But what you and I would have enjoyed was later on that night, at about 10:50, Roadworks Report. That was the one. We model railway enthusiasts, we never miss roadworks report.
Mind you, that was a Friday night. I was probably in the pub.
Do you think you were? Yeah. But I can tell you what you were doing 35 years ago.
Behave yourself.
Because, yes, I have been digging deep into the archive and I've found some footage that I know you will enjoy. You came to London in your roller with your then-girlfriend, Britt Eklund, to show her the sights and to answer a few questions in your mod gear.
You've got a great reputation as a womaniser, and we all read the scandal. You were chatting up to Susan George and got a smacked face for it. Do you get annoyed by this?
True. I have to point out at this time it was absolutely not true. It was one of several totally and utterly fabricated stories about us.
Why is it?
Yes, darling. It's quite true. Now, what she says is very true.
No, it is true.
What she says has made it very clear, hasn't it?
It has indeed. You're a very good boy.
What happened to the girl that you loved?
I couldn't resist that, I'm sorry, but...
Oh, she dislikes me so...
I understand you've changed completely.
Oh, no, I'm a good soldier now when it comes to
look at the body language. It's amazing.
No, let's get this right. I love my wife dearly. Of course you do. I really do. She's brilliant. Love her to death.
We all love
Just get a bit of speed going here.
Go on then, you have a play there and we'll...
Go on, my son.
Now then, over the years, Anne Widdecombe has stood her ground in the House of Commons.
Yeah, soared high on Strictly Come Dancing.
And described this man, Michael Howard, as having something of the night about him.
Now, for quick thinking and straight talking, how about we find out a little bit more about little Miss Widdecombe, aged 8.5.
I'm Anne Widdecombe, and I'm going back to the street, which isn't really a street at all, because it's a very, very rural lane, where I grew up between 56 and 58. I'm very excited about going back, because this is a house that I haven't actually been in since I left in 1958. Oh, the door's the same. Good heavens. Oh, it wasn't like this. My bedroom was the bathroom. Was it? No. No, because my bedroom looked out that way. This was my bedroom, but it didn't look like this. There was a very tiny door that you had to bend to get in, and it was en suite to my grandmother's room. During the week, I'd be on my own, and so I used to devise all these games in my head, and I'm sure that probably was what developed my writer's imagination later on. My father, who was in the Admiralty, had been posted to Singapore. We came home by cruise liner because in those days you didn't fly. I so loved the newness of each move that actually I got quite miffed when my father was finally posted to Whitehall. There were no more moves. I was terribly excited when I first saw Quell Cottage. The fact that the cottage was in a wood. You know, I read Enid Blyton. This was terribly exciting. I was going to live in a wood. It was a wonderful time and place in which to be a child. Well, this actually is the most exciting part because I spent absolutely ages in this garden when I was a child. And this is so much more like the garden than the house is like the house. Where's my gate? Where's my special gate? There used to be a gate. And if you went through this very tiny little gate, you went through this gate, and there was a small stream that ran along there on the back of the house before you got into the woods proper. And all along that stream there were primroses. A lot of overgrown rubbish. So disappointed. In winter I used to come down there on an old tea tray pretending it was a toboggan. But in summer, when there was no snow, I used to pretend I was an aeroplane. And of course, because it was the generation that was still immersed in the war, sometimes woo would become woo. I now realise how privileged I was, but I didn't then. I took it for granted. My father was very driven, very ambitious, bit grumpy, bit impatient, but a great dad. My mother was not at all driven, very soft-hearted, but oddly enough, she, of the two parents, was the stricter when it came to behaviour. My father used to think it was hilarious if I was misbehaving. She would say, "Murray, don't encourage her." I can't remember at this age, which was 9, 10, having any very great ambitions. We had an agreement, my father and I, by the time I got to secondary school, which was that if I came first, he would give me £1, and if I came second, I'd get 15 shillings. If I came third, I'd get 10 bob. But after that, I had to start paying him. I never paid him.
You haven't looked at me that way in years, but I'm still here.
Lovely.
Bravo.
Yeah. And how did it feel going back, and how did it feel watching yourself having gone back there?
Going back was certainly very strange because I genuinely hadn't been to that house since 1958. I have been to other of my childhood homes, but I hadn't been back to that one. And so it was very nostalgic when you see a place, you know, after all that length of time.
And what were your dreams and ambitions then, as a little girl?
Well, as I said on the film, I didn't have huge ambitions then. They used to vary tremendously. I'd read a story about Gladys Aylward and I'd want to be a missionary. Then a few years later, Gagarin went into space and I'd want to be an astronaut. It didn't really settle down until I was in my teens.
So we saw you there as a child, between 8.5 and 10.5 you lived at that address, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So can you describe for us then what you were like as a teenager?
As a teenager?
Yeah.
I suspect
Come on,
not
Anne.
like you. I suspect.
Did you have posters of Rod
I think
on your
we
wall?
might have been a little bit different.
Well, you were on the precipice of the most exciting decade in modern times, the 60s, yet in the most liberated decade, but you sort of just carried on your own story.
In my own way, yes,
Yeah.
yes, I did. I was a very serious teenager. By then I did have ambitions, and I particularly liked Latin. And I used to read a lot of Virgil. I suspect you didn't read a lot of
course,
Virgil. But, of course, we didn't entirely escape. I can remember the advent of the Beatles very, very vividly. And I can also remember the fashion towards the late 60s, maybe even the very early 70s, for fake military uniforms. And I had a great big black coat with sort of military insignia rushing up the arms. And my parents thought I was quite mad, but I was very fond of it.
Is it possible for a person to be too serious in their life, do you think?
Oh, you can be too serious in your life. I don't think I was. I mean, I had a reasonable balance of being serious, being ambitious and having fun.
Who was your teenage crush? You must have had a teenage crush.
Oh, yeah, we all did. Dr. Kildare. I can even remember, I can't hum it because I'm tone deaf where I shall not, but I could even hum the signature tune now. We were so completely bowled, and I've just said I can't because I'm tone deaf, bowled over by Dr. Kildare. You can, can't you? Do you remember?
I haven't got a clue. Give me a clue.
No, I can't.
Anybody give us a clue?
No. All right, we'll move on from that.
Move on.
And have you now, going back to those dreams that you did realise when you were a teenager, out of 10, what would you give yourself a mark?
What am I marking myself for?
For the realisation of your dreams and ambitions.
Oh, I see. Oh, well, no, I'd give myself 8.5.
8.5. So what was missing then?
Oh, I didn't become Prime Minister, did I?
But you see, you loved your mum and you loved your dad, yeah?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Who were you more like, ultimately, now?
I find that a very difficult question to answer because I've got a straight mix of both of them in me, which is actually as it should be. I could see a straight mix in my brother as well.
Right, OK.
So lots of people come on the show and they, like Anne, go back and see the houses where they grew up in, which evokes some memories for them. So have you been back to where you grew up?
No, mine got knocked down.
Right,
30 years
well, that's
ago
that then.
to make way for the North Circular.
What were you like as a child then, Rod?
I was pretty obedient. I was pretty good at school. You know, I didn't become a tearaway till I was about 17 or 18.
When you were given permission to, almost?
What, cross the road?
Yeah, no, but, because you became successful, you thought, actually, I can do this now, I've got a bit of power, I can I can be a bit of a tearaway. I'm allowed to do that.
Yeah, it went with the territory, really, being in rock and roll in those days, when it was all new. Everything was new in the 60s and the 70s, you know.
And what did you think of the 60s from, from an observational point of view, when it was going crazy?
There was never a better time to be young. I mean, I seriously believe that, because we were full of hope in the 60s. I mean, the 50s, which I can remember, had been very, if you like, grey years. You know, we were all recovering from the war. Some people hadn't come back from that war. We were still rationed. Then when there was no rationing, we were still nevertheless quite constrained. And the 60s was a time of booming prosperity. I think people often forget that. They think of it purely in terms of the sort of social liberalisation. The prosperity suddenly came.
I'd love to have been there in the 60s.
I remember ration books when I was just...
Of course you do. Of course you do. All right, listen, thanks for making the film, man. Thanks so much for being here with us tonight.
Brilliant.
OK, Foodie Friday now. Jay, you big dish. What's on the menu?
Flattery will get you everywhere. Tonight, Flower Power. Spring is well underway, and ahead of next week's Chelsea Flower Show, we've decided to put edible flowers to the test.
Just marvel at these beautiful nasturtiums. And these violas are simply stunning at this time of year.
Yes, I'm a man who's not ashamed to admit how much he loves flowers, but I am not bidding for a job on Gardener's World. In my book, flowers are for eating.
In today's top restaurants, meals with flowers are very trendy, unlike my food hygiene hat. Now major supermarkets are also offering new ranges of salads with flowers. It may sound a tad surreal, but there's a long culinary heritage behind cooking with flowers. There are references to dandelions being eaten in the Old Testament, and the Victorians ate candied violets. But what are today's flower foodies eating?
Normally, you grow salad leaves. When somebody came to you and said, I'd like you to grow flowers for food, what did you think?
I thought they were mad. But we were convinced when we started eating them ourselves. We understood that there's some colour, some flavour that we can get from these leaves, so why not?
Are there any particular differences between the kinds of flowers you're growing here?
Yeah, the violas, we've worked with our customer to make sure that they actually get into the pack and are looking good by the time the consumer gets them. We have struggling with the nasturtiums. They are a very delicate leaf with a lot of shape and structure, and to wash those is quite hard at the moment. But we are hoping that we will get there maybe later on this summer.
Now, flowers are all very pretty in their place, and there's no doubt that we eat with our eyes first. But do these really amount to anything more than decoration on a plate?
Pass some patience over, please.
Yorkshire-born chef Charlie Lakin is preparing me a real treat today. There's mackerel salad with nasturtium and a creme brulee with gorse flower syrup.
So tell me, flowers in cookery, is it merely about what it looks like, or does it have an important flavour?
No, I think first and foremost, really, it's about flavour rather than the appearance. I mean, it always looks great on a plate, but you should always look to flavour first.
How long have you been cooking with flowers?
Pretty much all my life. My mum used to use them a lot in salads and making wine and jams and things like that. It's a really exciting time of year as a chef, really. You know, once your blossoms are coming in and your flowers, that summer's going to be here soon, and you're going to be running around like an idiot.
So time to find out if Flower Power really delivers on taste.
Nasturtiums really are peppery, aren't they? Cuts through it. And it's a bit floral, if I'm allowed to say that. I hope I am.
It says so, yeah.
Creme brulee time. Good crag. It is a sort of grassy, earthy taste, isn't it? It's a bit like chamomile leaves. There's a little bit of bitterness right at the back as well.
And then you're left with the finish of the gorse flowers and it just lingers, sort of thing.
I've never thought of flavouring a creme brulee with gorse flowers like that. It's fantastic stuff. Thank you very much.
Now, I'd expect these genteel tastes to go down well in an English country garden, but how about on an English country building site?
Just stick it all in?
Yeah, stick it all in.
You serious?
I'm serious, absolutely serious. Only real men eat flowers.
Got a bit of spice to it.
Oh, you've suddenly got the peppery ends kicking in. Could you imagine eating one of those in a salad?
Yeah, I don't eat salad.
Are you?
I ain't a salad man. That's all right, I ain't too bad at all.
I'm not surprised that flowers can be delicious. Their uses and flavours have been well documented in culinary history. What surprises me is that they've taken a back seat in British cookery for so long. Beware, British gardeners, the foodies are coming. Lunch.
Oh, it looked like a Monet there, that mix, didn't it? It was beautiful.
fantastic.
Jace, speak to us. Oh,
Sorry, I'm eating.
OK, we've got flowers everywhere. What have you got? We can eat everything on this table.
Everything on this table. Would you like a nasturtium?
Okay, so...
Yeah, go on.
Those are really good. They're really peppery. Nasturtium flowers. Right in the middle here is one people are pretty used to. These are cauliflower. Cauliflower. What am I doing?
Courgette.
Who am I? Courgette flowers. Thank you, Alex. I wouldn't have got that right. You can stuff them, you can deep fry them. They're really, really good.
This is the one that most people may have encountered.
Yes, exactly. And also chive flowers. You might get these in your garden. Now, I have to say, because I'm told to say, do not just go and munch on your herbaceous border, because you may not know what's been put on them in terms of fertilizers and pesticides, and we don't want to be responsible for people poisoning themselves. I mean, if they want to do it in their own time, it's up to them. They're all adults, but I have to give that warning.
OK.
These chive flowers, I love them. They're terrific in
So
salads.
what's this ice cream here, though?
We have this with a bit of rose petal jam. Rob, would you like a bit of ice cream with
I'll
rose
have a go on it, yeah. I've got my dinner when I get in.
We've got flower tea over here.
We have flower tea. Here we go. Would you like some chocolate with lavender? Now, I have to say, I tried this before.
Nice.
And I thought this tasted a bit like old ladies' knickerbockers.
Oh, hey, behave yourselves. It's a children's programme. It's not.
It's not a children's programme.
That's really nice.
You like that?
You said it was.
Lovely.
What's this here?
You've got a few crystallised violet leaves there.
Is that nice?
Is that good?
Taste that. It's amazing.
The fact of this is, it's only for a little bit of sort of romantic flavour, beautiful decoration. There's almost no food value in them, it has to be said. You know,
does that mean there's no calories in them as well?
Pretty much.
Whippity-doo.
Unless you shove them in chocolate and put them all over ice cream.
Yeah, or deep fry them like these.
Or deep fry them in a batter, yeah.
OK.
Is this the future, though, Joe?
I think it's the present. One of the major supermarket chains has started putting out a box salad with blooms in it, and doing very, very well. Hence, we were able to get hold of, loads of this stuff.
Now, you just said, Rod, I can't eat too much because you've got dinner tonight. What have you got for tonight? Do you know what you're having for dinner?
I don't know. Well, I've got a lovely dinner, but I don't know what it's going to be. I have a lovely chef. She's beautiful.
Yeah?
Cooks great food.
What's her name?
Julie.
Hello, Julie. What's on the menu? Let's go. Email us.
No fat,
show.
nothing, no salt, and it's tasteless. No, she's brilliant.
What about foodie news?
Foodie news, very important.
Come on.
Upmarket food in cinemas. One of the big national cinema chains has decided to introduce olives, hummus. I'm not really sure this is what we want to eat in cinemas, is it?
It's not just in Ponty London cinemas, is it?
It's not just in Ponty London cinemas, it's in Ponty cinemas all over the country.
Oh, really? And it's quiet?
Well, I don't know. Carrot sticks. How quiet are carrot sticks? Actually,
That's pretty quiet.
Quieter than popcorn, it's got to be said.
Yeah.
Rod, I bet you've got your own cinema, haven't you?
Yeah, in LA I have, yeah.
Come on.
Well, so it's not DVDs, it's like they come around with the big cans and big reels.
No, properly?
Yeah, properly, yeah.
So they come down, because you live near all the film studios?
Well, that's the only place you can get them.
So you get them directly from the film?
Yeah, the day they come out, I get the films.
You're joking me?
Yeah.
And what do they get in return?
This cost me $300.
Oh, you got to pay for them?
Yeah, you got to pay for the projectionist. That's
all right,
we serve hummus.
Well, we must come round.
I will, mate. Now I've had a look at them.
If we bring some free food, can we come and watch
You're more than welcome.
Hummus and films in Rod's house. Thanks,
Rock and
Jay.
roll, we love it.
Lovely.
Thank you, Jay.
Now then, shall we celebrate what's happening in the exciting lives of One Show viewers?
Oh, yes, it can only mean one thing. It's Rippon's Britain.
Hello, I'm Angela Rippon, and this is Rippon's Britain and the headlines. Top award dished out to dinner lady. Burly men try to run in 4-inch high heels. And Rod Stewart brings the birthday party for a 10-year-old to a standstill. Louise Whitterick from Chapelfield Junior School in Solihull has won Dinner Lady of the Year, or as they're calling it these days, School Chef of the Year. There's posh. Her Greek-themed menu consisted of beef stifado with a trio of root veg and minted spinach and broccoli. Sounds delicious. The pudding, a spicy butternut squash tart with a hot creme anglaise. That's custard to you and me. Put fond favourites, treacle sponge and spotted dick in the shade. I'm not surprised. School dinners weren't like that in my day. They clearly weren't like the Jay's either. 25 real men have signed up for a sponsored hike in high heels. These heroes in heels are going to walk 1 whole mile in their wives' and girlfriends' stilettos. Can you imagine? I tell you, real women wear them all day, guys, not just for a mile. I wonder how hot their legs are going to be after that. I tell you, all money raised is going to go to St Wilfrid Hospice in Chichester. They're going to be crippled. Super Doctor Who fan Chris Cowan from Edinburgh has contacted me to say that while his wife has spent the last 9 months making their baby son Sam, he spent the same time making this. It's a life-sized TARDIS. Interestingly, that was the only picture he sent in. Poor baby Sam. I'm sure Daddy loves you just as much as he does his time-travelling shed. You don't have to get worried till he gets the Daleks to come and babysit. Now, who'd have thought that Rod Stewart could have brought a 10-year-old's birthday party to a halt? Tonight's the night that little Rodri Roberts paused his party to watch Rod right here on The One Show. At this very minute, he's watching from his tartan sofa, surrounded by friends and family. Here he is with his dad, who named him after Rod Stewart.
Hi, Rodri. Happy birthday, mate. Have a great evening, and thank you for waking up with all your friends. Good luck to you.
Oh, come on, Rodri. That's got to be the best birthday present you're ever going to get. That's all for this week. I'm Angela Rippon, and you've been watching Rippon's Britain.
Thank you so much, Angela. Thanks to all the Rippon's Britain's people this week.
Yes, and tell Angela what your family's up to by emailing theoneshow@bbc.co.uk or go via our Facebook page, and Angela could be reporting on you next week.
All right, in a moment we're going to talk about hot legs, but first of all, Hard Rock Cafe. What's going on with these guys?
Yes, big show in Hyde Park in a couple of weeks, 3 weeks.
Okay.
What's all to be there?
And it's the culmination of your tour, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I toured last year with the O2 Centre, but this is like a few more gigs, places we didn't play.
And that's the 26th of June.
26th, thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, good boy, good boy.
All right, then.
So, all week we've been talking about smalls, haven't we?
Lots of underwear, getting a bit saucy.
What have we been doing? So we've been doing knickers, bras...
Girdles, corsets.
Yeah, all that's left really... We left it till Friday for you. Stockings.
Oh, man, I love stockings. You're going to get me in trouble. Now, what is it with men and stocking tops and high heel shoes?
Because, what is it with the fact that girls know that the men react like that to the high heels?
What makes the world go round?
Easily pleased, honestly. Right, let's have a little film about it then, shall we?
Well, you did ask me, didn't you?
Yeah. Here to ply your stocking trade is Ruth Goodman.
A shiny, slinky pair of stockings on a shapely leg. It's a very saucy image. Not what their ancestors had in mind when they wrapped skins round their legs to keep warm more than 5,000 years BC.
Stockings commonly come under the title of hosiery, which comes from an old word, hose or hoser, a Germanic term meaning covering the leg.
Some early examples can be seen in the Bayeux tapestry when they were made from woven cloth. By the 16th century, they began to be knitted from wool, and men were showing them off royally.
16th century men, they were the lads, they were the peacocks, and of course there they are now in their trunk hose and their nether stocks, and the nether stocks are in beautiful colours, wonderful jewel-like colours. I mean, beautiful carnation reds, and there's beautiful blues, yellow, sort of almost autumn colours, green, anything.
I'm reminded of Malvolio in Shakespeare with his yellow stockings, come to me in your yellow stockings, with his cross-gartering.
Yes, I know. Because women wore them as well at the same... They too had colourful, but we didn't see it because it was
all under the skirt.
For the Elizabethan aristocratic lady, however, the very latest in fashion, the most beautiful of all, were knitted silk stockings. These, of course, were laboriously hand-knitted and cost as much as a servant's year's wages.
Then, in 1589, a Nottingham vicar called William Lees invented a knitting machine. There's one just like it here at Woollerton Hall.
Queen Elizabeth I actually refused the patent to William Lees. She was really worried that his machine would throw loads of hand knitters out of work. So it was another 200 years before the machines really came into their own.
Knitted silk continued to be the stocking of choice for the next 300 years, provided you could afford it, of course.
Here's some 19th century Victorian stockings, probably about 1850s, 1860s or so. The feel of silk like this is lovely, gorgeous. And here, these, quite a different character. 1920s, they're sort of cute and
they are, aren't they? They really
make you
fun.
laugh too. There's something funny. It's a different world.
Nowadays, most stocking manufacture happens in the Far East. But in Nottingham, there's 2 factories, including a specialist producing stockings in the wonder material of the 1940s, on the very machines that made them in the 1950s. The wonder material was nylon. They were practical, luxurious, and that distinctive seam down the back let everyone know you were up with the fashion.
The nylon stocking is very sheer, as opposed to the opaqueness of silk that was before. There's an optical illusion with having a seam at the back as well, because it can make a leg look slightly narrower because your eye's drawn to the seam.
You're using the original machines to make the original stockings.
These you can stand at one end of the aisle and you can see everything, every part of the stocking down the leg as it's manufactured. We get through about 3,000 needles on both machines every month. They take a lot of looking after and they're very expensive.
The 60s. Skirts get shorter and in comes stockings' big contender, tights, all made possible with the development of stretchy lycra. Ever since, our legs have got wittier and wackier and cleverer.
The very latest thing in hosiery is the development of ladderless tights. Can't wait for those, eh?
Thanks very much, Ruth, for a week of undergarments.
You warm enough out here, Al?
It's a little bit chilly out here. If
All right,
we're
time now
honest.
for our football challenge with Rod up against 13-year-old Scottish international Alicia Walker. Okay, who's going to win this? We've got Jim Leighton in goal. Big Jim Leighton, 91 caps for Scotland.
Hey!
Perfect. Jim, are you ready?
I'm ready, but she's a bit hot.
Yeah, I know she's a bit hot.
Yeah,
Unlike
she's
Ali's
warmed up
freezing.
too.
Right, okay. So who wants to go first and second? Rod, do you want to call heads or tails? Here we go.
Heads.
Heads? Sorry, it's tails. Brilliant. Okay. Alicia, what do you want to do? You want to go first?
Yeah.
All right, Jim, you big enough?
Good luck, Alicia.
Okay,
Brilliant.
30 seconds to score as
Okay.
many penalties as you can, and your time starts when I honk this horn. Give us a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good luck,
5,
Alicia.
4,
3, 2,
1, go! Charles Brandon, just keep the score.
3 goals. 3 goals. She's got her 4th goal. Yes. Another goal.
Nutmeg, Jim, nutmeg.
Her 5th goal. In it goes. Her 6th goal coming up. Oh no, she missed that one.
Miss for
So
the
5 goals so far.
kid here.
So 6. Oh no. Still on 5. 5 goals, 2 misses. Oh no. Still on 5 goals.
Warm it up.
Oh, 6 goals. 6 goals. Her 7th goal it is.
Charles Brandon.
Hold on a minute, penalty spot.
The beauty from Blackburn has scored 7 goals.
7 goals.
Seven
Well
to
done.
beat.
Right, Rod, 7
Yeah.
to beat.
Rod,
She's warmed up.
stocking
Okay, come on,
feet,
yeah.
everybody, in stocking feet. Rod, 7 to beat. It is Celtic against Rangers.
Oh, don't leave it out.
Here on BBC One. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh no. Nothing so far. And the players actually hit the ground.
Oh, I'm going to slip over.
Come on, Rod.
Oh.
Open the bar. Come on, Rod.
No. Nothing.
Save from Jim Leighton, right-handed.
4th ball, no
With
goals.
his foot on the
5th
left.
ball coming up, still no goals.
Save
This
from
one's gonna
Leighton.
go in.
Alex Jones,
6th
brilliant.
ball.
Playing the balls here.
6th ball. 7th ball. A goal. A result. 2. 3.
I should have worn my shoes.
Charles, can we have confirmation of the score, please?
3 goals to Rod Stewart and 7
I'm gonna sue.
Alicia, the beauty from Blackburn.
Okay.
Well done, congratulations.
It's 7-3.
7-3. So that means, Alicia, you get a
Come
special
on.
one.
Well done, Alicia.
Who's your team again this weekend? And who are they playing against?
We're playing against the English side that won down there.
All right, in Birmingham. Okay, and they're missing the captain. Thanks for being on the show tonight. Rod, thanks so much for being here as well. Jim Leighton as well, everybody. Okay, good luck.
Good luck with the Hard Rock Hauling in Hyde Park on the 26th and all the other gigs, of course.
Yeah, and listen, have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday on the One Show 7 o'clock
Yes,
with
we
Alex
will.
and Matt.
Have a great
Bye-bye now.
weekend. Bye.
Hello, I'm Riz Latif with your 90-second update. Celebrities may find it harder to protect their private lives with injunctions. Top judges in England and Wales say they should only be used when strictly necessary. They want reporters at the court hearings too. He's the MP who fiddled more than £30,000 for a mortgage he didn't have. Today, Elliot Morley became the first ex-minister jailed in the expenses scandal. He got 16 months.
Unlawfully killed, that's the inquest verdict on 5 British soldiers shot dead by a rogue Afghan policeman. They'd lived alongside the man who opened fire without warning. The coroner said there was no failure by the MOD. There are fears of a mass stranding.